Well. It is 8:40 on this Thursday, September 1st, and we have in-studio guests. Very excited to talk this morning. I didn't even know we were going to have a second guest, so she may have to introduce herself. We do have Dr. May Tinteo. Did I?
May Lin Tao. Tao is the last name.
Okay. May Lin Tao. Am I even close?
Very. You are spot on.
Can I just call you Doc?
Whatever,
dear. Listen, you went to school.
I did.
You went to school and you belabored over those books and studied. And I think we deserve to call you Doc. I'm just going to say.
All right.
Now,
I'm good.
Doc, introduce who you brought with. Come belly up to the bar there. Belly up to the bar there and tell us who you are.
Sure. I'm provider relations for Keck Medicine of USC and Henry Mayo for our new cancer program here in Santa Clarita. My name is Liz Pineda.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, nice to meet you. And I serve our Santa Clarita community and our providers through the cancer program.
Fantastic.
So just so you know how we're related professionally.
Sure.
So I'm the medical director of the cancer program, which is a priority program with the joint venture between Henry Mayo and USC Medicine. And I'm on faculty at USC Medicine and happen to be a radiation oncologist, but really my hat is, oversight over the cancer program, which is what we want to talk a little bit about and what we're giving to the community.
I'm seeing that the topic we're scheduled to cover is called Let's Get Back to Screening.
That's it.
Let's get back to screening. So I'm going to assume, and please, Doc, correct me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm going to assume that during the pandemic, a lot of us just went, oh, well, like
Under
it is
the blanket.
It is what it is. Yeah. Hide our eyes. And listen, some of us do that anyway, with or without a pandemic. If we don't know what we in our minds.
What we don't know, it doesn't exist.
Right. And that's just
Unless it's like a huge thing in front of us.
And sometimes we ignore that too.
Oh,
Doc,
true.
we're only human. We are only human. So
Denial's
tell me,
a coping mechanism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So talk to me about let's get back to screening. First things first, where do we go? What do we do?
So the crazy thing, as you mentioned, during the pandemic, care was being deferred. I'm a cancer doctor, so what we were seeing were still patients, but they were coming in really in extremis, like they didn't need to be in that state, but that's what it was. So we were treating them. And what I was realizing was, honestly, I did it myself. Deferring, the basics of going in to get your mammogram, getting your colonoscopy, encouraging your spouse to go in and get, men check and get your PSA. And the statistics show from the National Cancer Institute, if you project forward, all that deferring of screening will lead to, in the next 5 to 10 years, an incredible rate of very advanced cancers, which is meaning that people are going to die. Unnecessarily. So there's really what we've felt was really important for the community in conjunction with Henry Mayo is to really start a very thoughtful campaign to try to get people to understand it's time, it's safe. All of these places where you get the screening have all the usual protective, guidelines in place, and they need to start to get screening. So part of that effort is the weekend after Labor Day, so September 10th on Saturday, we are doing a big symposium that's geared not only for primary care providers, because primary care providers need to get kind of back into the mode, but also the lay public. And it also turns out in this last year, literally, a lot of the screening guidelines have changed. I have to tell you, in my own putting together of this, and some of the experts even, we had to update ourselves. For example, colorectal screening, probably everyone knows when you're 50, you got to go in, start thinking about it, blah, blah, blah. It turns out that 45 is the age that you really
pulled it back. We pulled it back, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same with those who are smokers who have had significant history of smoking.
Why are we still smoking? Doc, why are we still smoking? It's 2022.
It is.
What are we doing?
Tobacco is the most addictive substance, more than alcohol, more than all the other what we call hard drugs out there. It is incredibly addictive.
And now we have the vaping. Doc, how do we?
That's how we get them in. That's how we get them in.
I know.
Make it cherry flavor.
we're taking an offshoot a little bit, but let's just chat for a second about this. Like, how do we get people to stop this nonsense? I mean, come on.
What was so interesting was, you know the whole story about tobacco, right? The denial from the tobacco companies,
course.
all the Virginia Slims. You remember that?
Big tobacco.
So, advertising is
The
a
gloriousness.
marketing.
Virginia Slims, I remember as a child, and we're kind of
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
we don't but like as a kid, I remember the ads. The beautiful woman with just a gorgeous outfit and just the most.
If you
beautiful
wanted to be the most sophisticated person, you needed a Virginia
Slims.
Slim.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's 2022.
Social media, kids, cool colors, cool vehicles. There needs to be a real campaign for that level because that's where it starts. And then once you get the addiction, I mean, I had a guy just yesterday who came in and told me he started smoking when he was 8.
Yeah, I believe it.
8.
I believe it.
His parents were smoking. He was smoking. Not a lot of other things to do. So we need to give kids other options and other ways to be cool and, engaged. And a lot of it is, public education.
Is it still one of the top reasons for cancer?
Yes.
You do work in oncology, so that the smoking.
So we talk about different reasons. There's like behaviors. There's some like people talk about, oh, I got, this virus. I got the Epstein-Barr virus. I got the, mono, and it led to, my cancer. Or I had, we're vaccinating HPV, human papillomavirus. Before that are all the behaviors that we do, and tobacco smoking falls into the behaviors. So
and it's kind of at the top of the list there.
It is.
What's another big one that we can?
So actually, a lot of cancer is what we call sporadic, meaning that like we don't know.
We don't know.
Only people think that this is a huge part of it, but probably only 5% or less of cancers are truly related to some like hard printing genetic code in you that was passed on from mom to kid or dad to kid. However, having said that, if we can find that, there's a lot we can do on the preventive mode to, basically prevent those cancers from happening. So genetic screening is really moved up. And now that the technology is so, easy, readily available, that's also part of what we're going to be talking about in our CME Symposium is to think about like who should be screened. It turns out that by the age of 30, so not at the age of 30, that's kind of like your last call, like, okay, it should be happening now. All women should have had a risk assessment about their risk categorization for having breast cancer.
By 30.
By 30. So that means in your 20s, essentially, right? And it's a simple thing. It's a simple calculation. You can go online. Women can do it themselves.
Okay.
Of course, their primary care providers can do it, but this is the kind of thing we want to educate both providers and lay people that they can do that. And if they are high risk, they should consider genetic assessment, for which we have a program at Henry Mayo and USC Medicine right here, on the Henry Mayo campus in that outpatient surgery building, which is devoted to basically cancer programs, or elevate their level of screening. So earlier than 40, which is the usual age, or, more frequent screening, thinking about adding breast MRI. So there's so many things that I think that are should be common knowledge that we have no idea.
There's so many advances in technology. For example, I don't know if you're familiar, but I go to the center, the breast center, Susan.
Absolutely, Sheila Villos.
Thank you.
That is part of what's going to be featured also.
And they
part of our
have
breast health program.
Oh,
Yeah,
it is?
It
Okay.
is. It is part of our breast health program.
And they have an amazing, it seems like every time I go, like every year I go in, they have some new technology. And I've been going there for years, okay? And
I
now,
just started going. I've been going somewhere else, and this year was my first year that I went to Sheila Villos. And you probably, I don't know if you went this year and found that they sent you ahead of time a little text thing, and it took you probably didn't even realize through, if you accepted it, a whole risk assessment. That's what I was just talking about.
Right, exactly.
About potentially your risk for having this 5% risk of having a genetic mutation. And so when you go in, they offer that to you.
Exactly.
And we have with the joint venture, Amanda Woodhouse is one of our new fellowship trained breast surgeon who's fantastic. And she's also become part of this high risk assessment program, and is a resource for any woman who wants to understand breast health.
No, it's an amazing center.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's not your, it's not your grandmother's breast center.
No.
I mean, they have
And it's going to have
technology.
a new house someday.
And it's going to have a new what?
House someday.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Dr. Amanda Woodworth is really trying to, up the game. So patients who come in, she does her high-risk assessment as well. If they're coming from Sheila Vilos, they've already had the high-risk assessment done. She is specialized not only in patients for breast cancer already, but for patients that are at a high risk of developing breast cancer. And then they also get pre-op PT, post-op PT, and so there's a whole gamut of, I think, support that patients receive, which is one of the reasons why I decided it was such a big, important thing for me living in Santa Clarita to work with this cancer program, because it's so comprehensive. And part of that is being able to offer patients, lay people like myself, information on, we're going to have a geneticist there. We're going to have lung cancer screening program information, which we'll talk about smoking cessation, which is, the first step for someone
Absolutely.
who does have, an addiction.
It turns out there are all these, I call them hidden jewels in our community that we don't even necessarily realize. So the whole I call it peri-cancer related issues or post-cancer related issues like rehab medicine, physical therapy, genetic assessment, behavioral modifications. Believe it or not, people with lung cancer continue to smoke.
I do believe it. I know some people.
Yeah.
I know people. I know people, Doc. I know people.
Yeah.
But it's being able to empathize with them and support them through that process, which I think is such a
it's
big thing for
hard.
Dr.
It is the
Powell.
most addictive substance.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, you're a better person than I am, because no, I don't. I don't empathize. I don't sympathize. I continue to yell at them.
You are tough.
Well, because it's silly.
No,
Come
no,
on.
but
Doc,
it is.
Doc, don't smoke. And if you had lung cancer, what are you kidding me? You're going to put that up to your face? See what I get a little. I get a little
You're very
angry.
passionate
Yeah,
about
you
it.
are.
I get a
you
little
are
angry.
Yeah, this is the thing. It is. I mean, I have had such a healthy respect for. I just remember, this is just like a tiny story on the side. When I was a medical student, we were doing rounds, and we came across this beautiful. She was like 50 years old, so not very old, African American woman who had horrible peripheral vascular disease to the point she was diabetic, and she was a heavy smoker, all of which are risk factors for having terrible peripheral vascular disease. Bilateral leg amputation. You know what? The day after her surgery,
Don't even tell me. Don't even tell me she lit
could
up.
not.
Do not tell me
she
lit
could
up.
not. It was so. And when I asked her, she was like, "I know this is killing me. It is so, my body craves it in a way that I cannot." So we need to stop it at the get-go.
Yeah, we do. We do.
I mean, 40 years of addiction, it's a really hard thing to turn around.
It is. It is. But this is all great, fantastic information. We could probably, the three of us could probably talk all day. We really could.
Can I just tell people the date? Okay,
Doc.
so it's September 10th.
Yes.
So it's a Saturday from 9 to 12. If you register ahead of time, and you can just go, call us.
HenryMayo.com/back to screening.
Back to screening. If you register ahead of time, this is always fun. You get put into a raffle, which is some cool stuff.
Love a raffle.
If you want to show up, show up. This is for primary care providers, pulmonologists, gastroenterologists, anyone who deals with cancer screening, and also you, your mom, all the lay public. Lots of good stuff that we're going to give away that doesn't even have to do with the raffle. So both for the primary care providers, there's stuff that's really going to help them in their practice, and you and me.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
love
at
it.
the Henry Mayo Education Center.
Yeah.
Henry Mayo Education Center on the campus, on the hospital campus.
Yeah.
Nurses and RTs can get equivalent CME credits. CME
Yeah,
credits are
so docs
continued
get-
medical education. and
Which
they
we all have to have to stay professional.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get back to screening. Go register, register up front, because then you're going to be in the cool raffle. Put it on the calendar Saturday, September
Or you can show up.
10th.
It's all free.
It's all free.
But
It's
if you
all
decide,
free.
you know what? Oh, I forgot to register. Come.
Come anyway. Listen, we could, because we obviously, there's a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We could talk about this all day, and we still wouldn't have enough time.
Mm-hmm.
It is important to get screened. Please don't try not to be scared of the screening process.
One last thing. So Henry Mayo.
I love her so much. I
Oh,
can't even-
Tori.
One last thing. 10 things ago. I love her so
One-
much.
Yeah,
Go.
one last thing. So Henry Mayo is putting in a Let's Get Back to Screening line, which is, what is it, Liz? 661-200-1334. If you have any questions, you're afraid, you don't want to go to your doctor, oh my God, I'm still smoking, whatever, no judgment, call. And you will get educated and triaged, and basically we'll take care of you. And this is going to go on for the indefinite future. So that's something we're also doing.
I love it. And clearly they're not going to put me in charge of that line because you said no judgment. So I'm not in charge of the line.
But thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
You both are a delight, and we have so much great information. Feel free to come back at any time. I hope this is a huge success. Saturday, September 10th, 9 to noon, Henry Mayo, on the hospital campus.
Education Center.
The Education Center. Please go. Please, if you can, sign up. It is well worth it. Let's.
And there's food.
You should have started with the food. You would have had me at food, Doc. What are you
Hot
doing?
food, breakfast.
Okay.
Okay, and snacks. Who doesn't like snacks?
Come on. You guys are the best. It was a pleasure having you in
Thank you so
studio.
much.
I hope it's a huge success because we need it to be. Thank you so
Tori.
much.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank you.
Labor Day.